Hello, welcome to another Real Raw moment, and tonight is so raw, I just experienced it and I want to talk about it. But before I do, let's talk about what I'm not. I'm not a doctor, lawyer, therapist, or a member of any other accredited body that can help your case. I am simply a two-time alienated parent, been in the court system longer than I like to admit, and I believe that I'm experiencing it, hearing about it, thinking about it. I'm not the only one, so I'm going to talk about it. As the internet says, for informational and or educational purposes only. And as I now say, I welcome all opinions. In fact, I do these videos in order to get people talking. Please respect everybody who's making a post here, a comment. Save your viciousness for something else. Be kindful and mindful. There we go. I just made it rhyme. Let's move on. Okay, so tonight I was just in a Zoom meeting. Nothing big there, right? It was my first meeting of the year in a volunteer group as an ambassador for a foundation that supports at-risk youth in all ways. And this is something that's really close to my heart. And it's a part of my story that none of you know about. So before you chirp at me, I'm not going to tell it right now. Just trust me that this is a part of my life. And it may come as no surprise that I like to give back. So I attended my first essential board meeting, one a month, no big deal. This was the first one of the season, and with it comes introductions. Okay. I've gotten used to introducing myself. Not a big deal for me to publicly speak, except for this. This board is for, like I said, at-risk youth. And the volunteers on the board generally have children who have at least one that's been at risk, who have navigated the system, been a part of this foundation, used the resources, etc. So when the chair came on and asked for introductions, particularly for me, because I was the new person, everyone else had been on the board for a while, she asked for things I didn't want to talk about. Well, other than my name. Obviously, that's fine. But tell us the names of your children, where they go to school and what grade they're in, and a real highlight from your summer. Well, I'm sitting there doing this, thinking, I'm trying to actually fight off tears already because I don't have the story that they do. Now, I like to try and not jump into these situations thinking that they're going to go the way I think they're going to go. I try not to catastrophize. So I didn't volunteer myself first. I let other people talk. It went exactly like I thought it was going to go. People were camping. People were flying around. And one person took their child, their son, to university across the country. And then there were questions to this person. Well, did you cry when you dropped them off? Did you cry on the plane home? I did. This went on for 5 minutes. Now, I say this from a place of my alienated child started university across the country, and I didn't get to be a part of it at all. Those experiences that they're talking about already are experiences I wish I could have. And so I'm trying not to turn inward, i.e., I'm trying not to just bail on the call. So what do I do instead? I mask. I create a persona that will be acceptable in this space with the answers I'm going to give. So after a few people told their story, I came on and said, hey, I'm Natalie. Now keep in mind that this group is actually within the city I live in only. This is not national, so it's actually quite close. I have an 18-year-old son who's going to university, first year, across the country. And I have a daughter who's with me. And I'm not going to tell you the rest of her information because it's not relevant here. It's a whole other story. But it's not one that is, she's in high school, at this school, and this is what we're doing. It's very much not the case. That part I did share a little bit, because again, this group is for at-risk youth, etc. I spent a lot of time doing this. And here's why. Because it allowed me to try to school my facial expressions behind my mug, because I was trying not to cry. I was trying to have big eyes and not cry. I did that through the whole meeting. And this isn't the first time that I've masked this way. I did masking, I did mirroring. So let's actually talk about that for a second. Masking, I think we now understand. If you don't understand the term, it's putting on a mask. It's putting on a persona that isn't your whole persona. I know when I headlined this video, I talked about like lying. It's not lying, but it is. It's protecting yourself and your story. And then there's mirroring. So remember I said that other people went first, and I heard their stories. So I mimicked the cadence of what they said and the way they said it. Their name, ages and schools of their children, child or children, highlight of the summer, and something anecdotal, and pass it off to somebody else. As alienated parents, this is something we do almost unconsciously, but often consciously. It comes at a price. Again, I had to... yeah. Now, since we're at the certain minute mark, I will remind everybody that these are my real raw moments. Therefore, they are my moments, my opinions, and you're welcome to take them as they are, comment on them, identify with them, dispute them. Just do it mindfully and kindly. I've been doing masking and mirroring a lot. This time it hit me different, probably because I was dealing with people within my school system, my ecosystem, within my city. Not a lot of places to hide. And I want to do work within this pod. And I realized that I'm going to have to continue to mask in order to be able to volunteer effectively, not only from their point of view, but even mine. I have to remove some of my emotions around my story. But now I also know that I have to keep the ruse up, because who wants to hear about your son going to university for the first time, first year, but you haven't seen him for 3 years, and you missed out on every single opportunity, the acceptance, the excitement, dorm shopping, the road trip, the flights, the walking away and knowing that you did a good job because your child is there. And that's not to say that a child going to university is the only qualification of doing a good job. So if you're watching this, that's not what I'm saying at all. In this video, I want to share how painful it is. How painful it is to sit there and listen and nod and be happy that I truly try to be happy for those other people, talking about something as if it's their right, and they have no idea how it could have been taken away from them, like so many of us. And that's the reality and pain of parental alienation. This is it right here. So why am I choosing to do this video right after experiencing this? Or actually, I'm still experiencing it. It's because, again, I'm not alone. I know people watching this are going to feel the same way. So here's what I'm here to say. process your emotions. You're allowed to feel angry, sad, mad, whatever you want to feel. You're also allowed to mask. You're allowed to hold back all of the raw emotions from other people, because that is how we kind of have to function in society, unfortunately. I'm sure I could say a lot more, but I'm going to leave it there, which is actually short for one of my videos. I would love to know your thoughts. Comments below. Have you masked? Have you mirrored? What is your dialogue? What is your go-to party line when you run into somebody or situation where you should have a normal experience with your teenager or child, or kindergarten, first day of school, milestones all day long, graduations, universities, etc.? What do you do? I believe that the more that we talk about this and the more that we can share about how we cope, the more we can help each other cope. And also show each other, you're not alone in this. You know, what I experienced today, what I'm experiencing, I'm not alone. I'm just here talking about it. Please, I ask, share your comments below. Share your experiences, how you deal with this, how you mask, how you mirror, how you don't. All comments are welcome. Just be mindful and kind. Comments below.